What's going on, everybody? I'm assuming that I am live. I never know how this thing works, though, so I'm just gonna go with it. Just gonna hang out. Just gonna see what's going on. Today we're gonna be talking about whatever you guys would like to be talking about, for however long I decide to stay in this little room, getting checked out by the guards every 20 minutes or so. I think is what they're coming around now. I had no idea this place had such good security. I'm glad it does, but absolutely no idea. So let's go ahead and start it off with Star Trek Discovery. Of course, whatever you guys want to. Mild, I guess I'm going to say. Spoilers for said series, if you're interested in that. And of course, give me your thoughts. For those who don't know, I was actually on Trek Lad's panel, which went exceptionally well. I honestly didn't know how it was going to go. I had a couple of friends on Trek Lad's panel, and then there were a few people who were, from my understanding, were exceptionally pro Discovery. And so I never know how that's going to go. Because, I mean, usually I meet people who are reasonable, but ever so often there'll be someone who is not. So luckily, everybody there seemed reasonable. It was a pretty fun time. For the most part, though, talking about Discovery Episode 2, it's a reimagining. It is Star Trek reimagining. It is a soft reboot, if ever there was a soft reboot. I was talking to, I think it was Trek Lads or Ketwalski, and honestly, it was like a really well done fan fiction. Like if someone had of the resources of CBS, and they wanted to redo Star Trek, but they didn't want to get nailed for copyright, or they want to try to skirt that. That almost is what Episode 2 feels like. That said, it was really good because it was just more focus on ensemble, and because of that, it elevated it. You got to see characters shine. I think Saru definitively should have been the captain since like season two, honestly. Season two, episode one, we should have had Captain Saru because he is an exceptionally good captain, in my opinion. McDad, what's going on? Benny Hooker, hope you're doing well, good sir. Um, there were a couple of plots going on. Uh, Technically more than one, but basically you had the A plot of Saru and Tilly, the B plot of getting the Discovery out, with Stamets almost on the verge of dying, with I forget her name, the engineer. Whatever, Captain Engineering, McEngineering, the sarcastic one. Reno, I want to say is her name, but I could be wrong. Uh, I Mark helping out the channel, becoming a counselor, supporting and keeping the lights on. Thank you so much, Mark. So that's why CBS killed Axanar, because their fan fiction didn't work with CBS's. Well, that and Axanar went way too far, and basically was literally stealing the product. But yeah, could possibly be part of it. Um, Ultimately, Tilly and Saru have to deal with space pirates. Basically, Space Negan, by the way. I'm doing well, Tony. How you doing? How you doing, Tony? Uh, Space Negan came out and was, basically doing with a rifle what he did with his bat in The Walking Dead. And then you had on the ship them trying to get away from the parasitic ice. Apparently, this ice is parasitic and will destroy everything and eat everything that comes on it, which is interesting. I would say that episode 2 is more fantastical than than it is scientific. I guess I would say that Discovery season 3 the episode 1 and 2, are set in a magical world rather than that of a more boundaried scientific one. And that's not technically anything new. Again, you had the spore drive. So they seem to be really amping up that piece to it. How are the Romulans not in full control after the burn? Well, there's a couple of things. First off, Romulans aren't the only ones that don't use dilithium. As far as we know, the Borg don't use dilithium. Uh, Several species don't use dilithium. There's been multiple ways. And I'll say this too, and I stand by this. I'm not convinced, first off, maybe the Romulans do, they just haven't reached out. This could be in the beta quadrant, or no, they're in the beta quadrant. This could be in the alpha quadrant, far in the alpha quadrant. So we don't know how close to the Romulans they are. We don't know what's going on with the Romulans. This is post Picard. Romulans were mostly destroyed. So it could be going that. Tony helping out the channel. Thank you so much. Uh, anyway, I'm not convinced that this isn't happening within the 6 whatever sectors. Because if you guys remember, the they can only see like 600 sectors out or something like that. I'm not convinced that they aren't that past that dilithium doesn't exist, that you still don't see, that the Federation doesn't exist. It's just maybe the Omega particle hit this area. Maybe there's something special about this area. Maybe, I don't know. It could be a ton of things that are going on, and it's just within this specific sector or sectors that is happening. Laura, don't hate me. I love Discovery. I don't hate anybody who loves Discovery. I'm not sure. See, the thing is, people get really confused about this. I don't hate Discovery. I really haven't ever hated Discovery. Or, let me rephrase. I'm sorry, I'm trying to multitask. I don't hate people who like Discovery. I'm not a fan of Discovery. I don't hate Discovery. I guess that is technically fair. But the thing about the channel is, if you like it, you can come and have a conversation about it. That's what the channel is. It's a conversation. Now, since I'm the one that runs the channel, usually you get my view more prominent than others. But if you disagree with me, that's fine. I rarely have an issue with people who disagree with me. So yeah, if you enjoyed, I'm glad you do. There's nothing wrong with that necessarily. I just don't like it, and I don't necessarily. I think the second episode was a lot better than the first episode, but that's not saying a lot. It should have been the Omega particle, but the people making Discovery don't want to tie the rest of Trek at all. I mean, they were tying it to Trek like crazy in season 1, season 2, and then Lower Decks and Picard. So, now you might try to argue they don't want to. You might try to argue that they're not wanting to tie it directly to something else. They want to come up with their own space, science, magical thing. That's possible. But I don't know. I agree the first episode was fan service, but the second was great for me. It wasn't even fan service. It just didn't make any sense in a lot of ways. I mean, and again, spoilers for those who care about this thing. But how can a 23rd century biosuit hits a ship at full impulse and yet still survives? But the hit was so hard and so powerful, it downs the ship. How does that work? What is the Battle of Sector 001? The Battle of Sector 001 was when the Borg attacked in First Contact. Unless you're saying the Battle of Section 001, then I got no idea what the Battle of Section 001 was. Because it sucks I don't know, what the hell are you... Michael, I don't even want to... What's going on, Tennessee repair guy? Yeah, that's the thing. They hit each other, brings the ship down, but Burnham is okay. This is 23rd century tech, mind you, pre-Enterprise, pre-Star Trek. Finally got some extra funds, payment for my Captain series. I have a question too. Captain series is coming out soon. The next one is coming out soon. People hate on New Trek and praise OG Trek, but OG Trek was racist and sexist. So why is New Trek so hated on for their views and OG isn't? Well, first off, I have consistently talked about how they are similar. And
and people have a lot of nostalgia for Legacy Trek. People think Legacy Trek is something it's not. But I will say this: Disco era Trek takes something and dials it up to 11. Let me give you an example. You talk about sexism and everything like that. So in TNG and DS9 and Enterprise and Voyager, we have implied rape. And we even have consistent implied sexual assault. That Gul Dukat consistently sexually assaulted Bajoran women. It's implied. It's a brief scene. It's all in dialogue. In Discovery, we see it implied and actually happening throughout multiple episodes in season 1. I think it's season 1. Yeah, it's season 1. In season 1. Now, in the end, it apparently was consensual, but for 9 episodes, it was not. For 9 episodes, it was inferred that a person was sexually assaulted, and we got to see it. So, did similar things happen? Did what we see in Discovery happen in Legacy Trek? Yes, but they take it to an absolute nether level, an unreasonable nether level, and I think that's the difference. Yeah, so I didn't know if I addressed all of that. Laura, if you could do this, and it's just an idea, but a Jem'Hadar battleship versus Enterprise, I'm hoping to put a lot of stuff like that together. Yeah, Inferno, the guy in season 1 kept getting tortured and assaulted by that Klingon woman. Yeah. I joked that I wonder if they'll give the ship a female human avatar, then I realized that the ship had one in a short trek. Did it have one in a short? I don't remember. Oh, it did. Yeah. Now, I think that's going to be the ending. I think that's going to be the finale. By the way, thanks so much for the support. I think that's going to be the finale of it. The burn was actually caused by quantum torpedoes fired by the Enterprise E in First Contact, finally making impact with a dilithium-rich planet centuries later. Yes. Yes, that's exactly what happened. Did I create Axanar? Why, yes, I did. Definitely not Alec Peters. It was all me. I actually have not only the funds, but the abilities to do that. So yes, I nailed it. I didn't nail it. That was Alec Peters that created Axanar. What about the news that they may be... I don't believe that they're bringing back DS9. People keep saying that. I don't believe it. I don't think there's any... Now, I could be wrong. I don't think there's any legitimacy to that. I don't see why they would. There's no reason to bring back Legacy Trek like that. Just do something else. I mean, you could do a post-DS9 series, but I don't think they'll be bringing back DS9. And, you know, even then, with Picard and now Discovery, I'm not sure where to go with it. I don't want CBS to bring back DS. I don't think they'll... I don't think that'll happen. And it'd be kind of weird, too. I mean, if they'd have to bring back the original cast. Some of the original cast isn't there anymore. For your battle series, I wouldn't mind seeing Federation Kirk Enterprise versus Terran Kirk Enterprise and see which one would win. You know, saying that JJ Kirk. You know, the thing is that I actually do a lot of research into the battleship stuff. I am not... Sometimes it can be really hard. It can be really hard doing the research for that. And people are just not going to agree. Like, I get a ton of people giving me hell for how I did the Akira versus Dodera Dex, even though I think I gave good reasons for that. So I'd have to do quite a bit of research into that. I mean, it's possible. I'm happy the way it ended. I'd rather they leave it be. Everything CBS touches, you don't like. Okay. Well, I mean, DS9 did end on a pretty good note. I'd agree. That's what I'm saying in some form or another. It may not be DS9 strictly, but we'll all be revolving around one or some of the characters. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they may do a series that touches on Bajor or what happens there, but I don't think they're going to do something that focuses on the character. Personally, loved the video with the Thunder Child. That'd be the Akira versus the Dodera Dex. It would be, to me anyway, any interesting series about the Borg's rise and fall. I don't know. That's the thing. So Trek is kind of going the way of Doctor Who, where they're bringing back their old enemies, but they're doing it too much. Because you know, Doctor Who has to use the original enemies like every season, and it's not appealing. I guess, at least to me. Beno22 is cool. Hey, girl. That's Death Battle. Okay. Nice. Do this all day, bud. Anyway. Wow, what's funny is you guys aren't seeing this, but they're still doing it. Uh but it's gotten nailed by the spam filter, so only I'm seeing it. So it's just spamming to all hell and back. That's interesting. Daleks have to come back. It's a rights issue. Yeah, I understand why they do it, but Star Trek is going the exact same way, you know? Uh, I don't. In Legacy Trek, Kirk met a race that said humans were worthy of their help, assistance, but they would put their return in the 3,000 year frame. So you think Discovery will touch on that? Which episode is that? Because I'm not sure what you're specifically talking about. I'll take calling me a girl as a compliment. Sure, I was more just a saying. I wasn't referring to your actual um, gender, but if that's what you prefer to be, I don't know if you're being um, facetious or not. It's the one with the Gorn fight. It's Arena. I'll have to take a look. I definitely will. I'm not completely sure. That would be interesting if they brought it in. I don't know that they will. Will we see a futuristic Enterprise in DSC? Not season 3. I'd be very surprised. Okay, if they lighten up the tune, have some fun, and let the others have the spotlight for a change, I'll jump on board. Did you see episode 2, Kevin Thomas? Let me ask that. Did you see episode 2? What's your take on the burn in Discovery? What or who do you think may have caused it? I'm not convinced it wasn't the Omega particle. I'm not convinced that this isn't just happening within this sector, if I'm being honest with you. I'm also not. I think that if it's not that, it's a form of eco-terrorism. I don't think this just randomly happened. And if I had to guess, I honestly, again, I still stand by that. I think the Federation exists outside of whatever the limits are. Is this? The race was an angelic Roman person who said they'd return in a few thousand years. I'll have to rewatch that. I don't remember. The original series is one of my weaker ones because I more get into TNG on. I would have to go a little bit deeper into it. Wow, they are really intent on telling me about this YouTuber. Wish you guys could see this. It's probably driving my mods crazy. When it comes to Burn, I don't know much more about it. We'll have to wait and see. I don't think Metron said help, but they do see hope for humanity, and in a few thousand years, they'd meet with Starfleet and have a dialogue. Maybe. I don't know. How about this for a battleship confrontation? Enterprise E versus White Star from Babylon 5. How would you do that, though? I don't know that I'll ever have cross fights like that. I'm going to be completely honest. Now, I may have other other series. I may have other battle breakdowns between other series, but I don't know that I'm going to bring the Enterprise to fight the White Star or anything like that. I have hope for the next episode for Discovery. The second episode was good for me. It stays right on path. I think what the hell is his name? Oh man, the captain. Sorry guys, I'm a little tired and that thing threw me off. Anyway, I think the captain of the Discovery, I think he was right on point. I think we had some great moments with him. Like Tilly is just sitting there blabbing, and she says, "I'm sorry." Um, says, "I'm sorry. I'm just scared. That's why I'm talking a lot." And Saru, that's his name. Saru comes back and says, "I know that's why you're talking. Why don't you talk some more?" He's just a really good captain. Who do you think is more powerful, the Vong or Species 8472? The Vong, probably. By the way, don't forget to refresh the screen because it does slowly start to lag out. One of the weirdest things. I have a theory. I think the Pakleds are Neanderthals or their planet's equivalency. That is quite possible, though they are a threat now. His name is Saru. Stop talking about Tilly, you fat F. First off, Justin, my boy, my lad, it still caught you. I'm not sure why you're saying I am of a larger intent. I never knew that, so thank you for pointing that out. I'll talk about Tilly all I want though, because I like Tilly. I think Tilly's a great character. I think I liked her since season 1. I think that she brings a lot to it. And you can't stop me. You can't. I could dedicate this channel to Tilly, and there's nothing you could do about it. I could dedicate the entire channel. Maybe I'll just make the channel Tilly ASMR. Here, we'll start right now. Tilly, 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 Tilly. Do you have another channel called No BS? No, I don't, but you seem like a very unintelligent person, so I could see how you might get confused about that. F in the chat for Jadok's brain, because apparently that died a while back. The beef between Saru and Giorgio was the best. The way Saru stood up to Giorgio, I think, was actually really decently done. I completely agree with that. He really had a way of having power. I don't know. He's really come a long way from where he was, in my opinion. I need to redo all of the icons, I know. Tilly appeals to socially awkward people. Like, yeah, I'm socially awkward, but I'm actually very smart and awesome. Well, I believe you, Seo. I think you are. He is tall as F. I agree. When Lord's beard starts twitching, you know he's fired up. I'm not fired up. It's just stupid people. Do you have a channel called No BS? Oh my God. I mean, it's just, why are you so stupid? Stupid people do irritate me. I mean, I'm not fired up. I don't know. But it's free content. I get to make fun of you, and the 79 people who are watching get to enjoy it. I may even get a little bit of money out of it. So, there's that. What did Giorgio do with the alien with really good eyesight? Probably tried to talk him into joining her or helping her out. I'd assume something to do with Section 31. Don't worry about that jerk, my friend. Something you do. Well, thank you. I think I do a fantastic job, too. Discovery can't go into the future and not have a peek into the mirror universe. Also, will we see the time agents? I think the time agents may be somewhat related to the burn. I wouldn't be surprised if Section 31 had a play in that. I have said before that the only person that'll make me rage quit is SC. That's true. I have said before that Section 31 was either the time agents or a part of the time agents, and I wonder if that plays a part in the burn. Because remember, the temporal wars are well known, apparently, first off. That's kind of interesting. But beyond that, after they're banned, something happens with the dilithium. I think they're related. The Negvar versus Dederadex. Man, a Negvar would destroy a Dederadex. Maybe one or two Dederadexes. And we'll definitely probably have that. Tilly is cute and very nervous. Give her some more screen time. I like the fact that, when you meet her, and I understand that they try to go maybe on the autism scale or something like that. I'm not sure. But I like the fact that when she is talking with Michael is off-put by her. You can tell she is socially awkward. Something's up. And she says, hey, you want to know something about me? A lot of people think I can't make it, but I'm going to be a part of the command track. And that I really think that was a great character moment. Laura wanted to ask what ship you recommend getting Eagle Moss. Just order the Steamrunner and Saber class. Um, I I like the Sovereign and the Defiant classes of it too. What if the Enterprise aliens and the Valakians, who are dying as a race, are helping the Mink because Mink couldn't survive without them? Valakians already had their Prime Directive moment and help. Okay, I guess. I don't know. That's possible, I guess. The Mink are the ones that Archer was going to get killed, right? Uh, yeah. You know what? I really enjoyed a lot of Lower Decks, but I really don't like that first episode for some reason. Well, Mark, it's probably because someone on 4chan or in the Phantom Menace told you not to like it, buddy, and I get that. I get that. I understand it. The please stop making character traits as mental health issue, please, guys. Well, I think they kind of go out of their way to point out that there's something up with her, that she is autistic. That's why I said it. It wasn't necessarily based on a character trait, but people who have mental issues do have character traits like that. So, I mean, it's not unheard of. But Mark knows I'm giving him a hard time. The first episode of Lower Decks was I could see how people might not like the first episode of Lower Decks because it has tinges of what Discovery was, and Discovery felt like a big betrayal. Tilly / she can't really be autistic because that would be automatically section. What does that even, Ruben? I'm not even going to assume. I agree. The first episode, Mariner was over the top to the point of annoying. As she mellowed, it got better. I don't think she ever mellowed. That's the difference between you and me. I get all my political commentary from 4chan. Moody dude, Phantom Menace in the house. I don't think autism exists anymore in 2030. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. I could see them curing that. Yeah. Do you think the Q will offer assistance to help Discovery to get them home after they finish doing their hero journey in the future? No, I don't. I hope they don't send them home. I would be very disappointed. I also hope that Control isn't still there. Some people think Control is still, like, it's the woman who has the bionics that controls a part of her. Autism isn't something you cure. Well, we can't cure autism at this point, but if we had the ability to ensure autism doesn't occur, or we could impact the brain so it doesn't have negative social implications, then yeah, I'm autism is genetic. Cure would require genetic manipulation, which we know Starfleet has. I mean, I don't really want to get into this argument, but if we could genetically manipulate people so that they wouldn't have negative stuff, if you could cure dyslexia, which my daughter has, then yes, do that. Yes, do that. It's okay. All right. Now, she's not bad because she has dyslexia. She can't help it. There's nothing. It doesn't make her a bad person, but if we can stop it, yes. All right. So you want to see me fired up, trying to sit there and say, let's not make a person's life easier by genetically fixing it, especially if it doesn't hurt them. Absolutely. 100% yes. Okay. I'm sorry if that makes me a bad person. So if we can do gene therapy and stop dyslexia, if we can do gene therapy and stop the negative impacts of autism, then yes, let's do that. If that hot take, helping people out so they don't have to go through hell in the real world, is something you don't like, let me know. I will link you to how to unsubscribe to the channel. That was to no one specific. I just knew where that was headed. Hood Trekkies Forever. Yo, DS9 and Picard reviews rock. I'm glad you like it, Isaiah. I'm glad you like it. Ooh. So, Loreman, what do you think is the weakest aspect of season 3 so far? It is, Mark's changing the topic. Mark's like, change. What do you think is the weakest aspect of season 3? Probably that it is a reboot light. That's what I'd say. I'm comfortable with disagreeing with you, Saber Bloodteeth. I am comfortable disagreeing with you. And obviously, my guy, autism, as you put, is a spectrum. So, probably not for everybody. I'd expect implants like Neuralinks will help sooner than genetic engineering would be available. Do we have something called Neuralinks? I don't know. Future Guy is behind the burn. I don't know that Future Guy is behind the burn. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to bring him in. I don't know. Saber Bloodteeth. By the way, I'm not getting offended. Well, I'm glad you're not getting offended. I am not either. I'm just saying that that's the way I feel. I hope Control does not come back. Oh my God. I hope they do not bring Control back in any stretch of the imagination. It's kind of like this, Saber Bloodteeth. Well, no, I don't even want to compare it to that. I was going to say, because I'm trying to think of a good way to have the conversation, but I don't even want to come, because I don't think it's apples to apples at all. So we'll drop that. Wasn't Future Guy going to be Archer? Everything points to Future Guy being Archer. You know, it would be fun, I think, if they brought back Archer. I don't know how I'd feel about it. It would be kind of fun, though. And I don't... I don't think they'd do that. They're really about keeping it with them. I respect you in that it shows you care. Saber Bloodteeth, the way I look at it is that I am out to maximize human, I don't want to say enjoyment, but to maximize human happiness, let's say. And I just think that if you could address or fix certain things, especially given where it is on a spectrum, then that would be preferable. So dyslexia, which I know is not the same, but just to give an example, if you could cure dyslexia, that would make a lot of people's lives a lot better. So I would say cure dyslexia, because that's just something that doesn't make their lives. Now, that said, and I'm sorry for those who are here for Trek, but sometimes we deviate. That said, some people would come back and say that is a part of who I am. And again, I know it's not the same, but that dyslexia has made me who I am. While that's fine, and while people who have it who don't want it cured is fine, I would still be for genetically manipulating it for babies so they don't have to go through it. I just am. I understand the counter argument. I think you help more people than you hurt. That's my opinion on it. Flame Inc., get the lore, baby, something nice. I want to see 7 of 9 show up in Discovery as the new Borg Queen. That would be interesting. You know, now that I think about it, it would be they could go that route. They could make her the queen of the Borg, and that's how they get rid of it. I would not like that. I would not like that. I don't know. That's my thing. You know, the more I think about it, the less I like them bringing in legacy things. They really just need to do their own stuff. They need to let the Borg be the Borg, I guess. Having watched Disco from the beginning and seeing all the issues, do you feel the writing has gotten better? I would say the writing has gotten better. So here's the thing, Donovan, and that's something that people come up. I think that season 1, and I've said this before, I think season 1 is the most toxic, the literal most toxic Trek season ever. Like, ever. There are episodes in TNG or DS9 that are worse on an individual basis, but it is the most toxic ever, both in front and behind the the camera. Season 2 was a lot better. Season 2, they didn't do what they did in Season 1. Season 3 seems to be going in a better place. The writing seems to be better. Picard, which is written by some of the same people who wrote Discovery, I think is a lot better. Is Fields better? Is way better than Discovery, especially Season 1. There are issues with Picard, but I think it's still better. And then Lower Decks just hits it out of the park. I mean, Lower Decks was a home run. All of these are written by the same people. I have seen Quantum Leap, yes. Hey, Laura, did you see there's a Las Vegas con scheduled and Bill Shatner, Jerry Ryan, Kelsey will be there? I did see that. I actually was signed up for the original Las Vegas show. And then they canceled it and moved it to 2021. I got my money back on that. Season 2 was full of crap writing. So Sci-Fi's not. Let's say that that's true, which I don't necessarily disagree. There is a lot of bad writing in my opinion. What I said was Season 2 was better than Season 1, which I think is definitive. I think that you can objectively show that. But again, as I've said before, getting punched in the eye and getting punched in the shoulder, one's better than the other, but you're still getting punched. Want T'Pol and Phlox to be in the Strange New Worlds. The actors are too old for that, I think, though. They'd have to recast them if they did that. I don't know what it was with Season 1. They really came out swinging in Season 1. Like, they really wanted to go out of their way to just start a fight for some reason, and I'm not sure why. It obviously, or at least for some reason, doesn't appear to have worked for them all that well, because they did change their tune. So I don't know. Ooh, we need Kelsey Grammer to make a cameo in Picard. Okay. Getting punched in the eye is better than being punched in the testicles or balls? Yeah, I'd agree. Kelsey Grammer, a best ever seen down Periscope, one of my all-time favorite. Kelsey Grammer. Oh. You know, unfortunately, I could just never see. Anytime he plays in anything, and I get it, I do, but anytime he plays in anything, anytime I see him, all I ever see is Frasier. I mean, I understand, and that's why people don't like playing those kinds of parts. Sup, Laura? Hope all is well with those writers. Who knows? Watch Control come out of the wormhole, but 120 years before Discovery and causes the burn. Oh my God! I hope they don't do that. That would be so bad. Oh, you know, it could be the space centipedes. Remember the Picard race? It could have been them that caused all of this mass chaos. 2 questions. Number 1, thoughts on the new Janeway animated series? Prodigy. I don't think it's a Janeway animated series, but you're talking about Prodigy. We don't know anything about it yet, so I'm not sure what to think of it, if I'm being honest. I'm looking forward to being able to watch something with my kids. That'd be nice. Is the Picard Other Dimension cyber monster, centipedes I was talking about, responsible for the burn? Oh, I was literally just talking about that. Yeah, I think it could be the centipedes. I think that that's a possibility. Because remember, they never stopped them, if y'all remember. Discovery Season 1 is like a more depressing Battlestar Galactica. I don't know about that, but possible. I caught you in a stream earlier, and what a pleasant surprise. Check out Trek Lad. Yeah, I was on Trek Lad's thing. I was talking about that. I honestly didn't know how that was going to go, because I knew there were some people who were really pro-Discovery on the ballot, or in the people I was talking with. And usually people are pretty chill, and they seem really nice. They're actually going to be a part of the CGI thing, the Starship battles. But I wasn't sure, because sometimes, people don't like the way I approach humor. Will Agent Daniels return in Discovery? I don't know if Agent Daniels will. I think the temporal agents will, though. And here's the interesting piece. And I've said this, and people disagree, but I think Fandom Menace, when it came to Season 1, had a lot of good... Wow, that was not a good look. Had a lot of good arguments for reasons not to like Star Trek. And in season one, I think they had some good points. Now, not so much. The burn honestly needs to either be an effect of the temporal wars or Omega. I think it's. I'm still standing by Omega. I think it's the Omega particle. Personally. Discovery could be good if you removed Burnham, changed all the writers, and got rid of Tilly. Sci-fi snob, you shut up. You shut up right now. Love Tilly. In fact, if they put Tilly in Michael's place, I'd be okay with that. Focus on Tilly. All Tilly all the time. I could just sit there and watch her eating gelato. Why do nostalgia Trekkies think Hope Punk is the only way you can do Trek and that you can't have a backdrop of darkness to show the light triumphantly winning in the end? I think the spirit in which things were written is what is a part of what makes Trek Trek. The fact that it was hope was something that was at the beginning, that was from the original series all the way through Enterprise, and only stopped, arguably, during the JJ era. But even then, I think you still had the hope. It is something that was removed in the disco era. So it's a new phenomena. So why do legacy fans think that you have to have hope and no backdrop? That's why, I think. What's going on, Jesse? Hope you're doing well. I got to dress up like Jesse and send her my some footage. You're yelling because it's you and me, Jesse. And as you know, it's always been you and me, Jesse. With the Philly cheesesteaks and the Santa Claus outfits. It's always been us. Always. I dress up as you, Jesse. I ain't even scared. I think that I probably wouldn't fit in what you fit in, so we'll have to let it out a little bit. But I would straight up dress like you. Question: why do you think the change in writing from season 1 Disco Trek to what we have now in Disco Trek 3 occurred? Backlash. Believe it or not, Fandom Menace, I think, had a little bit of an impact. Not as much as they think they did, but I'd say the backlash from normal fans, too. I think that there was a lot of pushback. Even people who love Discovery will say, yeah, X, Y, and Z is really stupid. And I think that had a part of it. Anyone who disses Tilly should be permabanned. I agree with that, Flame. I agree with that. Who the hell has seen your butt without me being there? And why the hell haven't I seen your butt, Jesse? You know what? No. Next time you're on Discord and you wanna ask a question, just don't. Okay? Just don't. We are no longer Discord friends, Jesse. What if Tilly became the first officer? I think that's the way it should be. Tilly should be the first officer. Question: how would you rate this episode if this was the first episode of Discovery and the last 2 seasons were just a real long teaser? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because, again, this specific this is a reboot. This is a soft reboot of Trek. It really is. Oh, Jesse, hey, you're here. You were wondering about my opinion. I actually liked this one a lot more than I liked the first episode. I think it was good focus on the different characters. I think Saru and Tilly really shined. I like Stamets, and I think, is it Reno is her name? I liked his interactions with Reno. But it feels like a fan fiction to a degree. It feels like if you wanted to make an episode but you didn't want to get sued by CBS, that kind of feels like it. It lacked that much Trek in it. There were barely any aspects of Trek in it. I did like Space Negan. I think Space Negan with his basically Lucy in gun form was pretty good. I I don't know. I honestly wasn't looking forward to episode two. Episode two surprised me. Discount Space Negan, yeah. Uh, Hopefully they keep that going in episode three. Episode one completely turned me off. There's just didn't like it. Just wasn't anything there. Watch Mr. H's reaction to season three, episode one. Does Mr. H, does he give a fair response, or is it more like watching Fandom Menace or Fandom Menace Light? But the original question was, how would I feel if this was the very first episode? It feels like fan fiction, so probably wouldn't have been a fan. I think my problem with both episode one, two, yeah, wow. Jesse, anytime I'm around you, I get tongue-tied. I think my problem with both episode one and two was that they both were kind of standard, predictable stories, but I get why it was more about setting up where the characters are in exposition. Oh, let me ask you this. And this is something everyone seems to miss. In the first episode, I swear to God, all of the wreckage there that you see, it looks like a cross-filled class ship. It looks like it's not the Discovery, but it looks like a cross-filled class ship. Go watch it. I'm telling you, all of that wreckage, yeah. So, Laura, you're saying... Mark, I'm going to ban you. And by the way, I forget, Snob, you're wrong. Tilly's beautiful. Beautiful, might I say. I thought it was the Discovery. I don't think it's the Discovery. The Star Trek shorts are actually true. They actually happen. And so we do see the Discovery specifically in... we see it in the nebula. And so I don't think it was destroyed. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that gun they used was a Varan T disruptor. Maybe? I don't know. I promise that AI BS is back in the girl's headband. I hope not. I hope Control doesn't come back. My two predictions for season one: Detmer has Arium in her, not Control, like everyone's guessing. It would be stupid to have Control. Georgiou takes Disco back in time, but leaves it standing for 1,000 years, causing Calypso. Georgiou takes Disco back in time, but leaves it standing. But that means she would have been the captain. That's weird. Yeah, it's a ship with holes, but from a Crossfield class, it's missing many key factors. The supports over the dish and make it spin. I don't know. I think it is a Crossfield class ship, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't think it's the Discovery. What would you think of Robert Picardo coming back to Star Trek Picard? I know they said he's going to come back, maybe Whoopi Goldberg. I'd have to see what they're going to do with them, honestly. I would be cautiously optimistic. Not if Saru gives the order or passes control to Georgiou. Why? He would never. I don't know. I that would be an interesting perspective. Hey, Lord Reloaded, I found the Kelvin type starship. Well, cool. Season 3 of Discovery is interesting, however, I feel like it's been seen before, I guess. The ship is stupid to begin with. Okay. The Crossfield class ship is a ripoff of a Fossa design. Okay. So what makes it bad if it's a ripoff? First off, everything's derivative, by the way. I'm not the first guy to ever live stream about Star Trek, just not to blow y'all's minds. But even if it was derivative of a Fossa, is that bad? I legit hate the Crossfield class. I find it hideous. Sure. I mean, it's the ultimate pizza cutter. It literally, does. I don't know why they haven't made a literal pizza cutter of that thing. That's what we need to do, Jesse. You and me need to sell it. And I think it's intentionally meant to evoke the design from Planet of the Titans, the redesigned Enterprise. It looked like phase two for sure. Georgiou is the only interesting character on the show. I don't even like Georgiou all that much. I gotta be honest. She's fine, but I don't like her character. I don't like her concept. She's the Empress of the Mirror Universe, who is turned good now, or some form of semi good, and like loves Burnham like a daughter. It is the worst written fan fiction ever. Hey guys, you know what? I'm going to create a character. She's going to be my original OC. She's going to be XO of a ship, and then she's going to go to the mirror universe, and her captain is actually going to be the Empress, and then she's going to imprint on the Empress and bring the Empress back, and the Empress is going to start turning good and will ultimately always be concerned about her and care about her, and even want to risk her life to do. It is the ultimate bad writing. And yes, Jesse Gender, it's not that I don't. It's not just that I dislike the character. It is bad writing. It just is. I gotta go soon. Speaking of that, I got a person I gotta meet. Episode 2, really? They had an entire arc about a Jeffries too? Well, first off, that's extremely simplistic, but I would say, I'd say the A plot was a little more powerful, Saru and Tilly, but it wasn't bad with him having to get into the Jeffries tube. I think if the starting premise of the show from the beginning was that they were a 22nd century crew dropped into the 32nd century, would have worked better. Yeah, people would have complained about that, though, I'm sure. It didn't take 2 seasons. And I honestly, I don't think they ever intended to take them to the 30th century or whatever century they're in, 29th century. Um, I think, that was after everyone did. Peace out, Trek nerds. I was unable to get Lord Reload. I rage quitted inside, SC. I rage quitted inside. The Scimitar versus whatever force will eventually destroy the universe. So, the Scimitar versus Kurtzman? Would you say that Disco should have been a live action, serious version of Lower Decks, then folks would have liked it? I can see that, but Phantom Menace really are just racist. I don't think most of the Phantom Menace is racist, and I think any of the Phantom Menace that is I don't think they're true racists. I think they're useful idiots when it comes to that. I don't know that I want to get into that conversation though. Got to tease Laura a bit every stream. Well, yeah, R. McDudd, yeah. Well, some of them are. Sure, some of them are. Some of We Are Starfleet's racist too. I can tell you, I have met some We Are Starfleet that absolutely cannot stand white cis males at all. So, I mean, it goes both ways. I want to see what we need is the 31st century, also who'd win the Vengeance class dreadnought versus the future Romulan warship. That'd be a good mix-up. We'll probably do that. The effects and production values are amazing. Oh, I'd agree with that. The cinematography, the CGI, even a lot of the dialogue, even the acting. I think the acting's really good too. I really think it comes down to plot, arc, and if you like the fact that Michael is the focus. And I don't think Sonequa is a bad actress at all, like in the slightest. I just don't like the way she's written necessarily. Once again, the hand-to-hand fighting was too slow. Yeah, again. You know, it's interesting. I heard there's a YouTuber, Twitch. He's more known for Twitch, called Destiny. He said something really interesting, Jesse. I thought you would find curious. That it's possible for people to be and work within a racist or sexist system and not be racist or sexist. I thought that was interesting. What do you think of the new guns that are a bit more like the Terran style? I don't think that those are the typical for what people have. I think it's intriguing. All right, guys, I'm gonna be leaving soon. I got to go get ready for a friend. I'm gonna go hang out with my girlfriend. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. Uh, would like a Western episode in Discovery. You have said that, Belinda. That might be intriguing. They may do that. I don't know. I could see them doing that actually. I could. Any last thoughts? Phasers or blasters? Didn't they call those things No, they called the other things phasers. They didn't call those things phasers. What the hell is Sharon? Okay. I'm not sure why we're sharing that. Got a hot date. Hope you have a very good night. Jesse, that statement makes what? DS9 had a bunch of characters who were evil but turned good, but we got to see them turn good. They just weren't good all of a sudden. Yeah, that's true. I don't have a date. You're right. I don't have any friends. I'm gonna go home and turn on my OnlyFans account, my specific account, not looking at anybody else's. I actually have my own account, and go make money that way. Because if I'm not taking care of my kids, it's all I'm doing is making money. My sad, pathetic life is what that is. So don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys on the next.